Hey everybody, I've been out at the farm for a good chunk of the day today. Planted the garden, found a little bit of time to do a little bit of switchgrass checking and also do some habitat work in the timber, clean up a bedding area and just make sure that the deer could still move around easily in it. Did a little bit of spraying in there, got rid of some unwanteds that were popping up. But anyway, I was on my way back to the house and thought I'd talk for a second on what we're going to do to recover this stand of switchgrass. So here, let me flip the camera. So as you can see right here, the switchgrass is pretty spotty. Now if you look back towards that direction, there's some decent switch coming in. I did go thinner on this stand. I'm trying to plant it thinner. Of course it's thicker up over here. But I have areas like this where it's very kind of sparse. Alright, so last year I was going to work to recover this, but then we had a horrible drought, so I couldn't, because I couldn't burn. So what we did this year is we just hit this with Roundup less than a week ago. So glyphosate at 2 quarts to the acre. So what that's going to do is neutralize these cool season grasses that are popping up. And the neat thing about switchgrass is it does tend to thicken over time. And the fact of the matter is there's actually quite a bit of switch here. You see all these young plants? Well, they were all stunted. Anything that's sticking up is switch. All these young plants were stunted during the drought last year because it was a second-year stand last year. And it just never got a chance to really take off because I couldn't release it with fire. So they stayed pretty stunted, and and they didn't get a chance to take off because we had a horrific drought. Well, this year we hit this switchgrass. Man, that sunset's beautiful. Hit the switchgrass with 2 quarts gly per acre right before germination. I literally just checked it right now and it's popping through. So less than a week ago we sprayed it, kind of waited right to the end, and now the switchgrass is starting to come. But what we're going to do is throw fire at this in probably about 2 weeks. We dissed in a good fire break already. I plan on seeding that down with clover, but the fire break is dissed in, and since it actually worked up pretty good with the disc, I decided we'll throw some clover down so we have a good fire break for the future. Also have some nice food adjacent to potential old field bedding here with the switchgrass and some shrubby cover and things like that are popping up out here. But yeah, so hammered it with the gly, and then we're going to hammer it with fire. So I'll show you what that looks like here. I'll just add that to the video here. So the next shot will be of us burning this. Here's where I was standing, where I kind of showed there was a plant here and there, and the goal with the fire was to release the switch to get more coming, because last year I felt like a lot of these plants were suppressed by the drought. So there was more plants than even the eye could see. It's just they didn't grow very tall with the drought last year. Now you can see it is pretty much pure switch. Some of this stuff is 6-7 feet tall. If you look out, there's all kinds of little pockets of switch. I did not go for a pure stand of switchgrass here. I wanted lots of pockets because I want other perennial plants, good perennial plants, to eventually set in here. So like right here, you can see how we're coming out of a spot, not much switch. Then we jump right back into a spot that's pretty much pure switchgrass. I want lots of pockets. Eventually, now that I'm going to stop my disturbance for a while here, I'm going to let the woody stems fill in these spots that don't have switchgrass that are, there's a lot of foxtail right now, but that foxtail will be gone eventually as the perennials set in. But we have lots of box elders around this field that will fill in these pockets that are not switchgrass, and that woody browse is the best stuff we can have up here, especially box elder. So spots like this, pure foxtail, we'll let the trees fill these areas in, and eventually we'll have some woody stuff mixed in with the switchgrass. I'm okay with the dirtier stand to switch. It does not need to be pure switchgrass. Very pleased with the response post-fire. Do got a lot of milkweed. If I get off the edge of this switch, you can see there's a lot of broadleaf plants. Tons of milkweed, lots of monarchs. But overall, this stuff is just looking fantastic. Types of switch. Right now I'm standing in some Shawnee. I have some cave-in rock around the outside of this, out towards the edges. I have some real world out that direction. We'll shoot a video one time, or maybe this winter, comparing the three. And then eventually I'll do a video on RC Tecumseh that I planted this year. Show how that stuff is doing. Yeah, this stuff, the switchgrass loves fire. And it certainly jumped post-fire here. Lots of places, lots of structure here where deer can potentially bed down. So we'll see. See what happens. Now here's a spot where there was no switch planted, so we got lots of milkweed. There's a good deal of foxtail in here. There was a lot of clover under the canopy that I saw earlier. So this milkweed's drying down already. Actually, some of that milkweed probably got hit by herbicide because we were treating some of the thistle in here. You can see the edge that switchgrass creates over there. Fantastic edge for the deer to hopefully bed up against. When we jump over this low area, I am going to add some more switch in here, I think, next year. But I got a bunch of switch kind of up on the high points over there. When I planted the switch, that's kind of what I was focusing on. This is a lower area right here, but for the most part I was trying to get the switch on those hilltops because that's where deer tend to like to bed. So I wanted some structure up there for them. But yeah, very pleased. So I'm going to take one more shot, well, maybe a couple more shots, but one shot from the deer stand so you can see it from kind of a panned out perspective. There's a deer bed right here. As predicted, or as could be predicted, all this switch to the back, but look at that. No switch out this way. They love bedding right on the edge of this stuff. So talk about a great view, being able to watch out that direction. Especially in the fall when all this foxtail knocks down. This switch is going to be the only thing left standing here. So as that stuff beats down, this is going to be a great place to bed for security. Overall, I'm very pleased how this turned out. I mean, I think it looks great. I got great adjacent woody stems here, but the switchgrass really popped after the fire. So, all right, you all take care. God bless.